It's not. Oh. Hey, family. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for taking the time to spend some time with us. Welcome to the Righteous Frequency Podcast. I'm Righteous.
And I am Soul Knowledge. Welcome to another enlightening episode of the Righteous Frequency.
Yes, indeed. We're Spirit Meets Sanctuary, where we embrace unity consciousness and strive to revive the ancient wisdom in today's world. Our mission is to provide individuals with tools, knowledge, and guidance they need to unify their community of self and give agency to their higher consciousness through ancient healing sciences and technology, or ancient technology. We believe that by integrating timeless teachings and modern insights, we create a harmonious and super evolved community. So let's walk this path together. We welcome you and we are happy you're here.
Absolutely, absolutely. We got a lot of great topics to explore. They're all going to be centered around enhancing our collective journey. So as we delve into today's subjects, let's remember the wisdom of Rumi. The womb is the place where light enters you. So this reminds us that our challenges often lead to profound growth.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. With that being said, we're going to take a short commercial break. What is
seeking spiritual enlightenment and guidance? Welcome to the Church of Sacred Ashram, your sanctuary for sacred prayers and blessings. Discover a journey of spiritual empowerment and collective elevation. Experience the transformative power of personalized prayer services crafted with intention and faith. Join us on Etsy and awaken your spiritual path. Embrace divine blessings and manifest positive outcomes with the Church of Sacred Ashram. Visit us today and embark on a sacred journey towards enlightenment. The Church of Sacred Ashram on Etsy.
Hey, family, we're back. Let's see. So there's a big question that we know a lot of people have wanted to know. A lot of people are not aware. And that is, what is an ashram? Traditionally, an ashram is a spiritual sanctuary. It's a place of spiritual retreat for deep practice and focus and study and transformation. It's a space for self-discipline and developing rituals that lead to more self-discipline, meditation, and sacred ritual.
Yeah, exactly. Many of the ancient ashrams, they were in like these exotic places, like nestled inside of forests or mountains, or just basically away from the noise of the world. And this would allow the practitioner or the student an environment where, you know, those who are on the path could dedicate themselves to higher learning and divine connection.
I see, exactly. Let me see. So a lot of people believe that, or are aware that traditionally the concept of an ashram, it comes from particular beliefs only. but it's a concept that involves something like a spiritual monastery. It originated in Indian culture and Hinduism, but they in early Christianity, they also had what were known as Christian ashrams. And so in the early 20th century, the ashram model was adopted within Christianity, and particularly in India, where they practiced Christianity. So it was more of a cultural thing that they carried over. In about 1921, the Christakula Ashram was established by somebody by the last name Jesudason and Forrester Payton. And what they wanted to do was integrate Christian spirituality with the indigenous ashram tradition, which was a common practice to do when new cultures kind of colonized different areas. They would oftentimes take a part of their religious beliefs and merge them together with the popular religious beliefs of the land and kind of create something that was comparable for both sides, the new side and the old side. There's also, within the Buddhist tradition, there's also ashrams, monasteries, which serve the identical purpose. And they also, those Buddhism, which also originated in India, it established monasteries with communities, and these centers serve for meditation, study, overall spiritual development. Even in Islam, in Islamic tradition, particularly within Sufism, there were khanqahs or tekkes function as spiritual retreats where devotees gathered for instruction, meditation, and communal worship under the guidance of a Sufi master. And so these centers were prevalent all over, all across the Middle East, North Africa, and they're also pretty widely seen here as well. So in Westernized society, we have spiritual retreat centers, which a lot of spiritual retreat centers all over the country you can go to and have a variety of spiritually nurturing practices, and they take on the likeness of those ashrams or monasteries in the past. And there are even a few ashrams here as well. So let's see.
Well, one of the things that I definitely remember, or when I was originally looking up like the whole aspect of an ashram, one of the things that really I kind of found to be fascinating was that like there were different types of ashrams, like in terms of like where you are in your life. So there are some ashrams that are called like Brahmacharya, and those are ashrams that you would essentially have your child in from birth to 25 years old. And then there's ashrams where you could join at the age of like 25 to 50. And then also ashram for retirees. So you have practitioners or students that would join from like age 50 to 75, etc. So yeah, it's pretty interesting in terms of that aspect.
Yeah, ashrams are powerful. They're powerful spiritual places. They are if one would be able to say, one could even say that or argue that churches are very similar to ashrams. You got churches that have prayer several times a week. Mm-hmm. Then there's Sunday school classes, and there's Wednesday Bible study, and then there's a devotional time, and then there's different practices for rituals. Ushers have usher board meeting. That can be seen as a sort of ritualistic practice or service. So it's basically a concept that has transcended cultures and time. And one of the things that I see for Sacred Ashram Ministries today is us being able to spread divine wisdom and bridge both worlds, bridge all of the worlds by unifying several forms of powerful pieces of consciousness.
Absolutely. So, in terms of our name, Sacred Ashram, I'm pretty sure often people may have asked, like, why did you all choose the name Sacred Ashram Ministries? Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons is because we particularly embody both the discipline of an ashram and also the spiritual service of a ministry. So
you hit the nail on the head. Mm-hmm. Whether it's through meditation, theurgy, ritual work, or ethical living, we hold space. We hold space for ourselves, each other, and those who are a part of our communities and the communities we engage in. Phoenix Soul says, Eat, Pray, Love movie introduced me to what an ashram is. Ironically enough, a movie with Julia Roberts. I was fascinated. All night. Let's see. All night.
Prayer
meeting, camp meeting. Absolutely. Yes. All night. They had those 24-hour camp outs, prayer meetings. Let's see, you got New Year's. You go to church for New Year's. There's several things to keep you spiritually engaged or to keep you engaged. And we believe wholeheartedly that that's something that is critical to our evolution, is really diving deep into our spiritual development as individuals, as couples, as communities. It's super important.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Phoenix Soul said, and then good food afterwards. Yes, indeed. The everything. I've been to several different denominational churches, non-denominational churches. Like, I was exploring all of it as much as I could. And then you have some churches where the entire church sings together, the entire church is the choir, and they have potluck. And then you have traditional Baptist churches where, there's an annual day and appreciation, some type of celebration. And then, and if you have to stay at church, then it's dinner. It's wonderful. The one that I grew up in, I went on a tangent. I always go on a tangent about that subject. But the church that I grew up in had cookies and punch after Sunday school. So we got double sugar to look forward to. It was awesome. Cookies and punch. And then eventually, as time progressed, we started to get a half of a sandwich. I have bologna sandwich or some type of cold cut sandwich. It was wonderful when that happened. But yeah, moving forward. Yes. So sacred ashrams, meditation, theurgy, ritual work, and ethical living, holding space. Very much like they did in ancient times. the ancient centers, and like they still do. A lot of people still hold the practice of going to the ashram or developing ashrams. They hold it very closely.
Absolutely. And in reference to the sacred part, like this isn't just any ashram. It's a sacred space, meaning that everything that we do is rooted in uplifting ourselves spiritually, connecting with the divine, staying on the path, doing the work, doing the spiritual work. So
yes, indeed.
yeah.
And it's not to be confused with being perfect in any way, because we are definitely on the path and continually striving for evolution, full evolution. Perfect, I don't know. That concept is different in different places. So,
Absolutely.
yes. Oh, Phoenix Soul says, was just looking into possibly going to a Monte retreat in U.S., North Carolina this rising. So this topic is on point. Yes, that spiritual gem. Yes. That spiritual gem means everything. That's a perfect way to put it too. A spiritual gem. Yes. An ashram is very much a spiritual gem. There's lots of things that take place there. Lots of things, lots of development. It is a gauntlet sometimes. It's definitely not just, I don't want to overuse evolutionary, but it is, what are you doing when you are constantly working out and rebuilding, and it is a marathon, maybe. I was trying to look for I had to pull that out of somewhere. Mercury is almost over. Yay!
Definitely.
Yes, indeed. But one of the things that we were talking about, the pillars, the typical pillars of an ashram, they involve self-discipline. And discipline isn't it's not necessarily about restriction. It's about creating structure around freedom. And I feel like that is a higher way of looking at discipline. Back in the days, discipline, like, for example, in the beginning of the Universal Church, the clergy believed that discipline meant cutting off, thought it meant physical mutilation, just being crazy, just deprived in a crazy way, taking fasting past what it should be going, and just total masochism, and just really degradation, like on every level. And so we don't believe, not for us, for the lifestyle that we seek to develop, we don't believe that is sustainable. If we truly seek to evolve, we want to embrace lifestyles that are sustainable. And that's something to consider. That's something that I've learned in traversing so many different religious beliefs and cultures and concepts, is what promotes vitality and sustainability. But yeah, where did I go? I went on a tangent again.
No. But yeah, that's powerful, and that's definitely like a vital truth. Having that perspective of sustainability, and when we think about sustainability and the whole aspect of structure for your freedom. Then it's when you get into the aspect of speaking about rituals. And that's just not just talking about religious ceremonies. Look, God. A lot of rituals that we do consciously or consciously, man, Mercury is just like
it's out here. It's like it's not going out without a bang.
It's on this last straw
right now.
But a lot of rituals can be considered intentional acts that put us in a space of aligning with spirit, aligning with the divine. So, yeah. Oh.
Yes, indeed. So whether it's a morning meditation or a sacred fire ceremony or an offering of gratitude, ritual deepens our connection to the seen and the unseen.
That's a fact. Getting into the practice of just doing morning prayers and mantras, chanting. Heck, even when you get up and brush your teeth and, use the restroom.
It's a ritual. That's exactly what it is. It is a ritual. It's a ritual. Yes, indeed. And it means something. Mm-hmm. And you feel the kind of way if you miss it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
That is true. That is true.
Fact. Let's move forward into theurgy and ashram practices, right?
Okay.
Because that's one of the ways that we stay connected to the divine.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about those two, that's a practice that's deeply embedded in the ashram tradition.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things that are the pillars, I guess that would be one of the first pillars.
Mm-hmm.
The first pillars, because, you are going into doing that work, prepping your mind, getting yourself focused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so in speaking a little bit more about theurgy literally means divine work. It's the practice of invoking divine presence, not to control it, but to commune with it. And this is definitely another pillar that we hold as Sacred Ashram is the importance of divine work.
Yeah, that's a key distinction. Unlike magic, which is, I guess you could say, it focuses on human willpower. Theurgy is more about aligning with divine will.
So that's one of the things why we fit it into the ashram model through meditation, ritual, and service. We create a space that nurtures theurgy, and we bring it into our we bring it into the sacredness of our everyday life.
Mm-hmm. Another element that is the element of an ashram.
What happened?
That's a good one. I guess it would be the same as an attunement. Yeah, it would.
Okay.
Be. It's aligning yourself with that frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
it is.
When you're tuning into a radio station, you are attuning yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, going back to what I was saying, like one of the elements of an ashram is sacred study. So we're always looking into things. Heck, even this podcast right now is a form of sacred study because we are having an exchange of ideas. So knowledge isn't just about information. It's about how that information can guide you into the path of transformation.
Absolutely. In ancient traditions, students would dedicate years and years and years to study under a guru, or some other spiritual leader that governed education, learning through direct experience and not always just words, but experiential learning also. So
Yeah. And one of the things that separate us and our ashram, right? We do take great pride in honoring sacred texts, following philosophy, integrating into spiritual practices in a way that is modern and empowering, in relevance to today's practices.
Because we believe that wisdom is meant to be lived and not just read. And you'll see these things as we go through history, go back to history and look at the ancient practices, and what the ancients did to maintain the integrity of their practices. You'll see a thread of continuity go through every belief system. And it begs one to think, is it because there is a concept that source is trying to get to man, that is centered around unification? So yeah, like I was saying, wisdom is not merely meant to be lived. It's meant to be experienced.
Absolutely. And speaking of experience through action, right? Service, acts of service, which is also known in the more Indian tradition as seva. That is one of the other foundations of an ashram. And hold on, let's see. Phoenix So said a lot of people shy away from the word ashram because they view it as a religious practice. I love this explanation because it definitely resonates with your soul. All right.
Thank you.
Definitely. Gratitude.
Thank you.
But oh yeah, so acts of service. When we think about an ashram, churches, ministries, and things like that, these aren't just about charity. It's doing something obviously from the heart and spirit that fulfills you. But it's also about recognizing and elevating, your fellow brother and sister, recognizing the divine in all beings,
Yes, indeed. True service is sacred. Whether it's through teaching, healing, or simply holding space. Siva transformed the giver and the receiver.
Absolutely. And I think that's why our ministry is more community centered, acts of service through healing, teaching, and guiding others. It's not what we just do. It's a part of us. It's part of us. It's who we are. So.
Yes, indeed. Look, some might ask, if an ashram is a physical place, how can we live as if we're in one? Especially now, we have we hold what is considered a virtual ashram.
Yep.
So how can we possibly live as if we are in one? What do you think?
It's really simple. We bring the ashram practices into our day-to-day by practicing mindfulness, having that level of sacred discipline and just overall divine alignment.
Mm-hmm. Right. We create our own internal ashram. And that's one of the things I was mentioning earlier when we opened up was the community of one. And this concept has been presenting itself to me for the past few years. And I've coined it, or not coined it, but I've called it different things. Radical responsibility, developing oneself, and I think that this several things. All I may not be able to recall right now, but the community of one it probably sums it up and hits the nail on the head a little bit better, because we do truly represent the first community. Like the first community is within oneself, and everything that we nurture within ourselves is what we it's what we send out to those that are around us, and that those that we are having interactions with, like that frequency, that vibration, the vibration of those behaviors, in nurturing our own community of one, it goes out and it creates that energy to spread along to everyone else, every other individual. So it does. The community starts with the self, and I cannot stress that point enough. We create our own internal ashram through daily practices, ethics, and spiritual dedication.
Yeah. So, even if you're living in the mountains, deep in the city, the hood, the upscale part of the city, you can still live in the frequency of an ashram. An ashram is internal in the mind, body, spirit. It allows you to transcend what is outside of your current environment. It's a mind state of mind.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a way of life. If we had to sum it up, what would you say sacred ashram is?
Well, it's a way of life. It is a form of practicing discipline, being devotion, ritual, combining with real life, and the divine presence, once again, just being recognized in all things.
Yep, I see that. And that's exactly why we founded Sacred Ashram Ministries, to be living examples on this path, and not only to be living examples, but to also be a part of communities of highly evolved, like-minded individuals as well.
Absolutely. Uplifting humanity. All right, fam. So, yeah, Mercury has been doing what it's been doing, but we're going to take a quick pause and vibe out with a track. It's been on our spirit lately.
Yay! I couldn't wait for this part.
Yeah. So,
all right. So we moving right along. We're gonna do our first video. Shoot. Hold on. Sleeper hits. Music that might not be on the charts, but it's medicine for the soul. Yep. Let this next one wash over you.
Absolutely. We'll be right back, y'all.
I said I'd never do it again on my own. So blessed to have a couple of friends who gon' ride or die. Fell victim to a couple of L's in my past. Won't be the last. They might have had me in the first half. Not gonna lie, yeah. But now I'm coming right back while there's still time. I'm not gonna win this race because I'm fat. But I endure. I got a new beginning. I'm starting all over again. New beginning. I'm running it back. Yeah, I gotta starting all over again. Ain't no holding me back.
I'm walking tall 'cause I know the ground. It's always better the second time around. I'm giving up on the putting down, but it won't be delayed. 'Cause it's everyday work, crying, pray work, trust and wait work. Gonna take some time, find a way work, come on, may work. Forgive, focus and realize.
I gotta starting all over again. New beginning. I'm running it back.
Running it back.
I got starting all over again.
Ain't no holding me back.
One more time. Starting all over again. But my step on it, I'm running it back. I'm starting all over again.
Ain't no
Holding me back.
All right, and we are back. So before we go ahead and jump into the next segment, we do have to give a big shout out to Brother Yosef and his upcoming class, Dragon Magic 103.
Yeah, that's right. If you've been following Brother Yosef for Brother Yosef's work, then you already know he always brings some next level knowledge. Dragon Magic 103 is happening on April 27th, and the tickets are available now at newlifetools.org.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So if you are looking to expand your understanding of spiritual power, dragon magic, and you already gonna drop you some nuggets, so you already know what that's gonna be.
It's gonna be powerful as usual.
Just overall working with dragon energy, this is definitely something you don't want to miss. So if you haven't already, if you're catching a replay, make sure to get your ticket and get ready to receive those gems.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see. So, okay. Okay, yeah.
So
We are.
Let's go
Figure it out.
into trauma.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
That's
Trauma, like I said, Trilla.
Mhm.
Trauma and the archetypes of conflict. Now, when we are going into something like this is kind of like a touchy subject, but it's also fulfilling. It does hit home for a lot of people, especially those walking the healing path. If you already are empathic, then or you experience some sort of childhood experience that may have not been so favorable or so fun, then this is definitely something that may resonate with some helpful tips.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We want to say, first of all, this is a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
It's a space to love and safety, and we are not here to diagnose anyone. Please do your due diligence. We are only sharing what we've learned and what we've personally worked through. And if it resonates with you, then it might spark something in your own healing process. But what is first and foremost is that you do blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad when the second get here.
Do diligence. Yes,
Oh,
indeed. Yes, indeed. Now,
it has been a battle.
Yes.
With Mercury, man.
But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But let's start with something that is a bit more familiar. In regards to like the signs of people who have experienced a traumatic childhood trauma. Let's see if any of these resonate. And if it doesn't, drop your comments, drop your thoughts in the comments, and yeah, we'd definitely like to hear them.
Yeah. Let's see. So one of the biggest indicators is that the body holds on to pain. Trauma isn't just emotional or mental. It lives in the tissues. Man. People who have experienced deep childhood trauma might deal with things like chronic gut issues, autoimmune flare-ups, joint stiffness, even delays in physical development. All of this is from undergoing prolonged periods of stress during key growth years. So your DNA has to make all these shifts to adapt to what survival is calling for you to adapt, and it's all within your DNA.
Yeah, it's deep.
Yeah, it is.
And along with all of the physical epigenetics, there's physical holding, and one of the things that's kind of intelligent about that when you're dealing with trauma, right? It comes from surviving that trauma. Folks who often experience trauma are more times than not like extremely empathetic, incredibly intelligent, right? Mm-hmm. Geniuses even. Mm-hmm. They have developed a keen sense of some type of emotional radar and feeling tension in a room before anybody said something. Mm-hmm. And that's what, in some cases, when you think about it and reflect on it, right, how trauma, sadly, is deeply spiritual. Those people, they know how to comfort people, and they know how to sense energy, read between the lines before, outside of just the physical.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I see how that gift can be a double-edged sword. Mm-hmm. A lot of people grew up in chaos, And a lot of people who grow up in chaos take on a few roles. One being the savior role.
Yeah.
And this savior role, this savior complex, is a deep urge to protect others from pain because no one protected them.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful and powerful, but it can also be exhausting and very toxic. It can attract manipulators who see kindnesses as weakness.
Absolutely. And when you think about that, that's kind of where we get into hypervigilance. Look.
Hypervigilance.
Yeah. And also just like kind of having that sense of like constantly living in survival mode, right? Like even when it's not even a real threat, like you always looking for an issue. Like, man, this person got an ulterior motive, for this person may not like me, so they got this intention to do this, and all of that. So it's like you're always scanning and bracing for something to go wrong. But just to be clear, that doesn't mean that we're not to have some sort of discernment, right? Not to be naive or gullible, anything like that, because there's also wisdom and awareness, right? But you don't want to constantly be in this combative mode and a fix-it mode, because that means there's something deeper going on.
You are absolutely right. If you are in those modes for I don't know, you got to monitor your own time periods and time frames.
Yep.
But if you are, it could definitely be symbolize an unhealthy situation. And there's a paradox where folks become intensely independent or deeply codependent at the same time. They don't ask for help because somewhere along the way they've learned it isn't safe. So they carry everything alone, and then sometimes they'll end up depending on people emotionally in ways that are unhealthy, and just trying to feel seen or supported. Now keep in mind, there are healthy ways to do this. There are healthy ways in which to discharge stress and strain and other toxic emotions. There are healthy options. But these, when we lose balance and we become either intensely independent or deeply codependent, then it can be negative to our families and our close personal relationships, and even relationships that are not so close.
Absolutely.
So anyway, they will end up carrying those things alone, and then sometimes they'll end up depending on people emotionally, and just trying to feel seen and supported. And that's, like I was saying, it could be challenging. There we go.
Yeah, it can be. Phoenix Soul says trauma bonding bonds and codependency.
Oh, you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
Yeah, it's deep.
Yeah, it gets super deep. Yeah.
Yeah, but Fella says
Trust issues.
Yep, I can see that.
Exactly. Most definitely.
It can definitely be exhibited in a lot of ways. Once again, it's a bit of a paradox, because like you don't want to be hecka naive, but you don't always want to be seeking funk.
You don't. You don't.
So,
but yeah, wanting to, I guess trust issues would come from it comes from constantly being placed in situations where you're caught off guard, or emotionally, like severely emotionally disappointed, or
Yeah.
emotionally disappointed in a way where the wound hasn't been healed. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of unhealed wounds, what that does is it creates a need for control, because you don't know how to control the chaos. You grew up in chaos, and you just started thinking that if you can plan and brace for impact, you won't experience that element of surprise, because change, when it comes to the human aspect, like too quick of a change can be traumatizing, because there's comfort.
It can be. It can be stressful, but and there's this thing where we actually need some stress to move forward. Like if you stress your muscles through exercising, you'll build muscle faster. That's a form of stress. Exertion, pushing yourself to work out. That's a stress. So like there are healthy stressors. Being determined to get something done or do something, or those things can be stressful. Phoenix Soul says trauma paralysis. Yes, paralysis by analysis. Yeah.
Wanting to manage every emotion, every room, every vibe, just being in that safe space, because comfort is safe. But that control can manifest and develop into like another form of a prison, being caught in a bit of a cycle.
Yeah, and that ties into trust. Like, so when you've been hurt over and over and over and over again and used for your light, you start to struggle with trust. You isolate. You feel like nobody ever understands you, and even when people try to get close, you find a way to push them away. And there's a voice saying, "Don't trust it. This is going to end in betrayal. It's heartbreaking. It's going to be all bad." The reality, but it's a reality for many people walking around right now, and it's actually very heartbreaking. But it is something most of us have experienced. But it is something that can be healed, and it is something that can be corrected.
Absolutely. Phoenix Soul says certain zodiac signs, this affects deeper than others. Yeah.
That's true.
That's very true.
That's true. Like maybe that's something we'll visit towards the end of the show when we do the weekly horoscope. Is what will be the telltale signs for those?
Man. Just a little. I mean, man, we are in. Venus is still in Aries, so.
Oh, okay. It's out of Aries. It where does it transits on the 12th? Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's in. It goes into Pisces, I think.
Okay, awesome. That's a much better.
Yeah, but the last time it was in Venus, I believe it was like during the Civil War.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, so take from that what you will. That can be relatable in a lot of aspects.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, it can definitely be relatable in a lot of aspects.
Yes,
but
yes, indeed.
Going into the archetypes of healing, right? And just when we think about like these archetypes, like these aren't just like personality quirks, like these are patterns of survival, coping mechanisms even, and they're built during a time when you're young, you're a youngling, you don't have any other options, like you don't know what to do, and these patterns, they travel with you. They're like, all right, pack a bag, we're gonna go together.
Mm-hmm.
And they meet you in adulthood. And then they show up in a lot of different other aspects of our lives, right? Our health, relationships, our feelings of self-worth, and even spirituality.
And so now here's where we explore what we've learned from Andean shamanism, and what we were able to come away with, and something that we did a lot of intense studying on, was the conflicts, the teachings of the three archetypes: the victim, the savior, and the executioner. And those are the archetypes of conflict.
One of our teachers, one of the key things that I remember is not to like dismantle or destroy or reject these archetypes, but just remove your attachment to them. Being able to look inside of yourself and just recognize, like, when we're slipping into one of these roles, and once again, just being mindful, holding space for yourself, because when you think about it, when you're attached, then you're acting out of reaction, and you're not acting in a space, in a mind of healing.
So when you find yourself playing the victim, the savior, or the executioner, those roles, it's not to be considered like it's a moral failing. Like you haven't, all is not lost. It's a mirror, and it's the opportunity to heal. And if that can happen, we're judging that can't happen. If we are that can't happen if we are too busy judging ourselves. It's healing that's required, and we feel safe enough to just sit there and witness it and experience and go through that healing process.
Absolutely. Peace, Brother John C. Yes.
Peace, families.
Welcome.
Peace, all the families.
Shout out to John C.
In the chat. Thank you.
If you haven't, check out his music. He got some really dope production. A lot of lo-fi meditations, and definitely be looking out for more from him. So yeah, shout out to John C. Thanks for joining us, family. But that's why we do always say that healing requires a safe space, right? You know, whether that is a guide, therapist, community member, things like that. Always make time and space for you to breathe, release. Once you are in that state of breathing and releasing, then that will essentially allow you to rebuild, renew thyself, right? And that's a part of why we have Sacred Ashram, why we offer tools and consultations, for those who feel called. When we hold those spaces and have those conversations, we're not having them as, as saviors, anything like that, but we aim to be, companions with you on the path, because like we've all experienced trauma, but it's not in the space or a path of trauma bonding, but being able to provide you with the tools to release and, renew thyself.
Exactly. It's not like, I just want to go back to what you were saying about trauma bonding. Yeah. It's more of support on your journey, because most of us have experienced trauma to one form or another. But being able to have that support of people who do understand what you're going through, and not just in the moment, but experientially and in accordance to ancient teachings. So there are several things that we apply to it. It's like our life is a map, and there's several things that we apply to it that help us to better understand what might be going on with an individual, or just how to offer support in a way that is super effective. So yeah, one of those and we've worked with several different forms of therapy. And one of those approaches that we've worked with that has been highly beneficial is somatic therapy. And somatic therapy is based on the truth that trauma isn't just in your head, it's also in your body.
Yeah. And
Yes.
the correct partner can give you that safe space to help with trauma. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
indeed.
That's why
Yes, indeed.
we give honor and respect, and for our partners, thankful and grateful.
Yes, indeed. We are thankful and grateful. We are thankful and grateful. Yes, indeed.
But yeah, going back to you saying like trauma stored in the body, that is why most people, get triggered, and when they're going through that moment of dealing with trauma, like your heart suddenly starts, racing, the heart palpitations, your stomach, knots, your chest gets tight. Somatic therapy is really good for bringing you into awareness of how to acknowledge those sensations. It creates a deeper level of mind-body connection. It helps you unlock and face those emotions that you might have buried, within the subconscious and in the body long ago.
And so there's several methods in which we use to address the issues with trauma that is trapped in the body. There's a few techniques out there. There's quite a few techniques, but breath work, movement, and even intentional touch, that helps move the trauma out of the body. It's not always loud or dramatic, and sometimes healing looks like learning how to sit still with yourself without fear.
Yeah. And when you process those emotions, like, that allows you to call your power back, reclaim your sense of agency, your sense of self, your sense of empowerment. It's like a full body, mind, body, and spirit integration, right? It brings you back into your true self, bring you back into wholeness.
And maybe for someone listening, it's the first time they're hearing about these words spoken out loud. And that you're not broken. You're remembering, you're unraveling, and it takes incredible strength.
Man, super incredible strength. And just know that when you are on a path, pay attention to how your body responds, especially when you're in conflict in those moments, right? Do some stepping outside of yourself. And because oftentimes we step into these archetypes unconsciously. Lord knows this is something that we can step into it unconsciously. But that awareness, that's sacred. So
yes, indeed.
Yeah, hold on to it.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
So this is just the path of remembering who you were before the pain existed. In each step forward, no matter how small, is an act of revolution, especially if it's done consistency. So if you're dealing with anything out there, remember to keep walking. You are not alone. And it's not just about the song either. It's the truth.
Facts. So, we are going to go ahead and take another break. Hold on, what Brother Felder says. So, is that surrendering?
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
is.
Felder always be on.
It is surrendering. It's definitely surrendering. Mm-hmm.
And so does Phoenix Soul. Thank you. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Always on, both of you. We love you.
Yes, thank you. Sometimes a message comes better in a melody. So, with that being stated, we do got another sleeper hit queued up. Another one. So, we are going to get something together for you all real quickly.
Perfect.
And we will be right back.
All right.
Yes, take a breath. Receive.
Never ever thought I'd find someone to love me the way that you do. All the thoughts I had to cross my mind, you made them all come true. You keep me missing it, babe. No one's taking your place. There is nothing that I wouldn't do for you. The sky is the limit, babe. So push me to my limits, babe. All of this love is here waiting for you. All I do is think about the way that you be loving me. I wanna make love to you from night to day. All I do is think about the way that you be loving me. I wanna make love to you. I feel I'm running out of patience. It's only been about 15 minutes and you're laying right next to me. But it's time to wake you up, I want more. 'Cause baby, you touch my soul. Your love's worth more than gold. Baby, I'll choose you every time. Said I miss you, and can't no one ever take your place from me, yeah. The sky's the limit, babe.
For a limited time only, you can take advantage of our special offer on our detailed astrological reports. They make a great gift, so don't miss out on this opportunity to connect with your cosmic divinity. At Sacred Ashram Ministries, we offer profound insights through our astrological report readings.
Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Well, family, it's finally that time. It's the class that a lot of people have been waiting for, the Dragon Magic 103 class. We did Dragon Magic 102 back in 2020, and now in 2025, we're doing the Dragon Magic 103 class, the long-awaited class. It's going to be on April 27th of 2025 at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Tickets will be $100. The website you can go to get your tickets, family, will be at www.newlifetools.org, newlifetools.org. Come to the event. If you're looking to take your dragon magic, your dragon altar, and your dragon information to the next level, this is the class you want to be in, family. Peace and blessings.
Sacred Ashram Ministries, we believe in the power of prayer and the guidance of divine forces. Whether you seek peace, healing, or clarity, our prayer request page is here for you. Simply share your prayer intentions and let us unite in spiritual harmony to manifest your desires. Discover the angels watching over you with our new Guardian Angel Numerology Calculator. Enter your name and date of birth and unveil the celestial beings offering their powerful protection and guidance in your life. Visit sacredashramministries.org today. Illuminate your path with prayer and the divine wisdom of your guardian angels.
At Sacred Ashram Ministries, we offer profound insights through our astrological report readings. They make a great gift, so don't miss out on this opportunity to connect with your cosmic divinity. All right, family, we're back. So let's go into this week's horoscope forecast for all 12 signs. And this is for the week of March 23rd through the 28th.
No.
Oh,
My bad.
This is clearly for April
6th through
Clearly.
12th. My bad.
We was just checking to see if y'all was tuned in.
But yeah, I am excited.
Okay.
Despite that little snafu.
Now let us see what the cosmos have in store, because that's what's most important.
Look, man. But yeah, let's dive into celestial movements and the effects for everybody, because it's definitely been affecting. I am so ready for the 7. Lucky number 7.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Okay, so The week of April 6th to April 12th is rich with astrological events. We are so excited. Let's start by discussing major planetary transits and their global influences before we right before we get into each individual zodiac sign.
Right. So this week is going to be it's going to be notated by significant shifts on April 6th today, right? The sun is in Aries. It forms a harmonious sextile, with Jupiter and Gemini. So this essentially enhances our optimism. It is an encouraging energy. It's encouraging us to pursue our goals with confidence, and this alignment is ideal for expansion. Oh, what is going on? I surrender. And it does. It moves us to embrace new opportunities, though.
And you know what? That sounds like a powerful boost of energy.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, we do need that. So how might this influence our collective mindset?
Okay, so collectively, this transit is going to move us to feeling a sense of enthusiasm, desire, desire for growth. Hence why we had the conversation of, what is an ashram? Because like letting others know who may not have been aware of that, right? It's a time where people are going to feel more inclined to take risks, start new projects, also just getting into the space of learning more on an educational front, educational pursuits, right? It will be an expansive energy, particularly from Jupiter, combined with the assertive nature of Aries, the god of war, right? Mars. It encourages us to take a step outside of our comfort zone.
Interesting. And I understand that Mercury and Venus are concluding their retrograde phases this week. I'm hoping. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Thank God.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes, it's definitely been challenging.
Mercury has been retrograded since the 15th, and it has been, it's been problematic. But it will station direct in Pisces tomorrow, 12 a.m. or whatever, wherever you are. That ain't the exact time, but we just gonna say that. But from the shift, it will clear up a lot of communication mishaps. It's going to bring us clarity. It's going to bring us clarity to our thoughts, our interactions. And then this Saturday on the 12th, Venus will end its retrograde as well in Pisces. So this is going to allow us for smoother dynamics in terms of our relationships and also in financial matters. So,
So with both so let me get this straight first of all. So with both Mercury and Venus moving direct, like it seems like a period of resolution and forward momentum, especially in areas related to communication and relationships. What are you seeing from that, like in your personal opinion, and as far as what you've observed happening just in world issues, relationships? What have you observed?
So, it'll definitely be that. It'll be like a sense of clarity. Fog lifting from the mind, paths being more clear, having more clarity to make decisions. The full moon particularly is, like I said, it's on the 12th. It's going to bring an energy of balance, harmony, in a lot of aspects, in all aspects of the relationship, or of a relationship, I should say. The lunation, it is going to gravitate us to evaluate how we balance our needs with those of others, and also just having like a sense of clarity. Clarity has been the key in terms of our interactions with all aspects of relationships.
I agree. It's fascinating how these celestial events intertwine and offer opportunities for us to realign and grow.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
Now, let's really quickly provide our listeners with their horoscopes for the week of April 6th through April 12th.
Gotcha. So, yeah, let's go ahead and see what the stars have in store. Follow the zodiac signs. Matter of fact, I'll do two, and you can follow up the next two, and then until we wrap up all signs, then we'll be good. So,
Okay, cool. I can do that.
all right. So I'll start us off with the Cardinal, Aries, and Taurus, and we'll go from there. So, Aries, March 21st to April 19th. All right. The full moon in Libra on April 12th. It's going to illuminate your partnership sector. So that's going to move you to assess balance in your relationships. Also, with Mercury going direct in April on April 7th, that is going to make communication a lot clearer. It's going to make a space for you to have more open dialogue. And with Venus turning direct on the 12th, that's going to bring a sense of harmony. So it's going to be an opportune time to address any lingering issues and strengthen those bonds.
Okay.
And Taurus, that is from April 20th, 420, right? Right. To May 20th. So this week for Taurus, it's going to be an emphasis on your daily routines, your well-being. The full moon on Libra, it will encourage you to find balance between work and self-care. So that's going to be very important. Mercury and Venus going direct, you're going to find it a lot easier to implement healthy changes and also communicate your needs more effectively. So definitely a tip to focus on creating harmony in your daily life, and that's going to put you in a space to enhance your overall wellness. And peace, Olaf T in sound therapy.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for coming in.
Yes, indeed.
So, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so Gemini, May 21st through June 20th. Gemini creativity and self-expression are highlighted this week. The full moon in Libra invites you to showcase your talents and embrace joyful activities. With Mercury and Venus moving direct, any creative blocks begin to dissolve, allowing inspiration to flow freely. Whew, fire. Engage in pursuits that bring you happiness and allow your authentic self to shine. Okay. All right. Cancer. Huh. Yes, indeed. Look at y'all. Y'all deserve it. Cancer, June 21st through July 22nd. Cancer, the focus turns on your home and family life. The full moon in Libra on April 12th encourages you to seek balance between your personal and professional spheres. As Mercury and Venus station direct, domestic matters could become clearer, facilitating harmonious interactions with loved ones. Take this time to nurture your personal space and relationships.
Absolutely. Yes, Cancer. Olaf T said, hey, Cancer.
Hey!
Yeah, one Cancer after the other. Look, double water.
Cancers be supporting.
Yes, Cancer. Yes.
Go
Venus in Cancer. So
yes, indeed. Cancer rising.
So we all got the assignment.
Yes, indeed.
Ashe.
Yes, indeed.
Moving forward to Leo, July 23rd to August 22nd. So Leo. Leo, Sun. Communication will be key this week. One of the things that you're going to find for this full moon in Libra is going to illuminate your sector of learning and connection. So you definitely want to embrace open dialogue. And also with Mercury and Venus moving direct, that is going to clear up any misunderstandings that began during the retrograde. They're going to start to clear up. So yes, embrace. Hallelujah. That's going to allow you to have a more effective level of expression, and also empower you to engage in conversations that broaden your perspective and strengthen your overall personal relationships and connections. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. So Virgo, financial matters come into focus. The full moon in Libra is going to shift you into doing some evaluations on your resources, your spending habits. And when Mercury and Venus go direct, you're going to find it a lot more easier to make those informed decisions in regards to your finances and relationships. So definitely pro tip, make sure that you're seeking balance between saving and also enjoying the fruits of your labor. That's been a reoccurring theme.
Okay. Let's see what Libra's talking about. September 23rd through October 22nd. Libra, the spotlight is on you during this full moon in your sign on April 12th. It's a time for self-reflection and assessing personal goals. With Mercury and Venus moving direct, clarity emerges from your self-expression and relationships. Embrace this period to realign with your aspirations and present your authentic self to the world. Yay, Libra. All right. October 23rd through the 21st, Scorpio. Introspection is key this week. The full moon in Libra encourages you to delve into your subconscious and address any hidden emotions. As Mercury and Venus station direct, inner clarity emerges, aiding in personal healing. Take time for solitude and self-care to rejuvenate your spirit. It's important. Yes, indeed.
Super important. All right. Fire on fire. Sagittarius. So this week is going to be a real strong highlight in regards to your social circles. The full moon in Libra is going to push you towards directing your awareness to friendship and community involvement. So once Mercury and Venus goes direct, there's going to be opportunities for networking. So make sure you take advantage, and also group endeavors. If you're doing any type of partnerships, anything like that, or you seeking to do them, then it's going to be an opportune time to gain momentum. So definitely keep that in mind. So make sure that you are engaging with like-minded people so that you can, further your goals collectively. Capricorn. Oh, I didn't even say the date. So Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 31st, right? But moving forward to Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th. So Capricorn, the focus is going to shift to your career and public image. That's going to be center stage. So definitely be prepared for that. The full moon in Libra is going to be really auspicious in terms of your professional sector, and it's going to kind of guide you and shift you to evaluate a lot of your focuses, your ambitions. Mercury and Venus, once it goes direct, you're going to have clarity in terms of your communication, and it's going to be a helpful aid in terms of career advancement. So get ready and just kind of focus on aligning your work and your values so that you can, experience those long-term commitments.
Okay. Aquarius, January 20th through February 18th. Aquarius, expansion and learning are themes this week. The full moon in Libra encourages you to seek new experiences and knowledge. With Mercury and Venus moving direct, opportunities for travel or education become more accessible. Embrace the unknown and broaden your horizons. Pisces, February 19th through March 20th. Pisces, April 2025 heralds a period of renewal and personal growth. With Mercury stationing directing your sign on April 7th, mental clarity and effective communication are restored. Venus ending its retrograde in Pisces on April 12th enhances your charm and magnetism. Positively, it allows you to positively influence relationships and creative endeavors. The full moon in Libra on April 12th illuminates your financial sector, prompting you to assess your resources and seek balance between spending and saving. Embrace this time to set clear intentions and align your actions with what you value most.
All right, so that's all 12 signs. Let's kind of go into the global aspect.
Sound pretty good though. Before you
Yeah.
move on, sound pretty good for everybody, like across the board, huh?
Yeah, it do. Like
Yeah.
a lot of blockages being removed, a lot of clarity.
Olaf Tan Sound Therapy said, first giving honor to God. I knew when I said it, it was just going to make me laugh hecka hard. I knew when I said it. That is many. Yes, indeed. Thank you.
But yeah, let's move into the global aspect.
Okay.
global aspect.
I love it.
So do you have any speculation or idea like what the stars got in store for us on a global scale cosmically?
It's looking kind of crazy out there. We are in a period where there's a little bit of calm right now, but considering the current global economic concerns, especially with recession fears looming, I have a few speculative thoughts, but mostly for the full moon. Do you sense any upcoming planetary transits reflecting these challenges?
I got a bit of a hunch.
Okay.
The first half, 2025, it was, man, heck of significant astrological shifts that gave you, I think, a lot of people on a world scale, like even this past week, right? There's been articles about possible recession and things like that. So just it kind of goes hand in hand with like that sense of feeling instability. But notably, like 4 to 5 planets, the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, those were like signs that was changing significantly between March from March to July of this year. So these transits simultaneously, they are rare, but they often signify profound transformations on a global scale. So historically, when these periods have aligned with economic fluctuations and societal upheavals, like they have brought forth those kind of occurrences on the world scale.
Yeah, so how might these transits specifically affect the global economy?
So these planets, they do bring forth a sense of dismantling the old. Like you have the emergence of all of these new paradigms, the preview of like the energy that we're going to be experiencing is going to pretty much, it indicates that the traditional economic structure is going to be challenged. And that's going to lead us to that, once again, that sense of potential financial instability. Additionally, a little bit of some Vedic aspects, right? The Saturn Rahu connection in Pisces during the summer of 2025
Mhm.
It's going to be deeply associated with economic crisis and natural disasters. Like we see in a preview of
Wow.
that now. When you think about like last week when we had the earthquake, and it wasn't Malaysia, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, um, and overall, like that, we get a preview of that energy, and it's already affected the U.S., India, and those in East Asia.
Wow. Given these insights, how can individuals and communities navigate these turbulent times?
That's really funny because it's one of your philosophies, awareness, right?
Oh.
Miramar, Miramar. That's what it was. Not Malaysia. I knew it was something.
Okay.
And I know we talked about it last week, but I had a little bit of some brain fog.
I think we kept calling it Malaysia for the longest too, knowing it should be something different. Like this is not right, but it is an M.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for making us honest. Yeah. Well, natural disaster energy. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like awareness is key, and once we have understanding of like these periods, they are associated deeply with transformation, then that's going to allow us to approach these challenges with a little bit of a different perspective. I definitely want to advise to exercise caution in terms of financial matters, avoid necessary risk if you can, and just focus on sustainability, practices of sustainability, and also just being adaptable and just having that sense of community that can help mitigate a lot of the impact of these upcoming shifts. Yeah.
I think you hit a nail on the head again.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay, so shifting focus to the full moon in Libra on April 12th. How does this lunation influence us collectively?
Oh man, so the Libra full moon is definitely going to be emphasized on, once again, just themes of balance, harmony, and relationships, right? So it's going to be a real ideal time for our relationship dynamics.
Phoenix Soul said, throw some holy oil on that retrograde. Be gone.
Facts.
Yes, indeed.
Peace, how one feels. Peace.
Let's see.
So some holy oil on that. Yeah.
So yeah. Let me see. Are there any specific practices you recommend for this full moon?
Yeah. Engaging in reflective practices, journaling, meditation is key. They're going to be extremely beneficial in this current climate. Trust me. Take a breath.
Yes.
Being able to focus on identifying those areas where there may be some imbalances in your relationship, career, anything like that, finances. Try to keep in mind just steps to restore harmony, right? It's an opportune time for rituals after the retrograde that promote release, forgiveness, and things that allow you to let go of past grievances and move forward with, a sense of renewal.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. For those seeking deeper insights into how these transits may personally affect you, we offer personalized astrological reports and consultations.
Yes.
And they are pretty detailed. We use a myriad of ancient practices or ancient modalities to get a full picture of what any given circumstance might be. So they're pretty thorough. Yes,
absolutely.
indeed.
And yes, restoring that harmony. Yes, that's important. So our astrological reports can be a guide for helping you restore that harmony. They provide a lot of detailed a lot of detailed analysis on your chart. And one of the good things that I personally love is that we provide you with guidance in terms of how you can best circumvent the upcoming planetary influences. Also, we do have astrophotography consultations that can help you understand how like the different locations that you're in can have an impact on you energetically and cosmically for your personal and professional life. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Yeah, you can explore all of these services, plus a lot more on our website. Our reports and consultations are designed to be affordable, so you can afford to know what your cosmic map is. And that's important. Supporting you on your spiritual and your astrological journey is one of the things we love to do. So, sacredashramministries.org. We look forward to having you.
All right. So, with that being stated, we've given you all the cosmic weather report. We are gonna bring it back to the bottom of the map, like Julie say, and wrap up with our final thoughts.
Okay. Okay. So as we wrap up today's episode, we want to.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We want to extend our gratitude to our listeners. Thank you so much for spending time with us. We do appreciate it. We appreciate every moment. We get something out of it every time we do it. And yeah, we invite you once again, subscribe, like, subscribe, share. You'll find a wealth of content designed to uplift you and support you on your spiritual path.
Absolutely. So as we sign off, we do want to encourage everybody to take a breath. Balance is key. Embrace those energies of the cosmos. Don't fear them. Stay aligned with your higher self. And we're going to approach these coming days with love, peace, and mindfulness.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Wishing everyone a wonderful week filled with light and positive vibrations. Until next time, look out for us. Sacred Ashram Ministries and the Righteous Frequency.
Peace.